my trading plans for Bitcoin, Ethereum and SUI for the upcoming week. Let's first start off with Bitcoin, guys, and let's have a look at this beauty of a chart. What we can see over here is that Bitcoin did indeed reclaim this very pivotal range low area over here that we have been discussing over the past few weeks, with a very strong move over here towards the upside. After we took out this major liquidity beneath this low over here, Bitcoin has now finally reclaimed a very pivotal range low area. After we have been deviating beneath a range low area, we know that after deviations beneath a range low, technically speaking, as I explained last week, we should be attacking the mid-range and eventually the range high as well. Right now, what we can see if we zoom into the price of Bitcoin is that we are very, very close to that mid-range area, and that around that mid-range area, as I explained last week as well, is where we have this beautiful draw on liquidity with these relatively equal highs over here, and I still expect Bitcoin to take out that particular draw on liquidity. But we also have to realize that Bitcoin is now very, very close to the mid-range and that we are trading near a pivotal resistance area where we rejected from the last time that we discussed it. So we have to realize that as long as Bitcoin is against resistance, is it the best idea to start looking for longs on Bitcoin? Or is it a better idea to start looking for shorts on Bitcoin? Or is it maybe the best idea to not start looking for longs or shorts on Bitcoin and rather start looking at potential strong altcoins? And I think it's actually the third option. Why? Because first off, if the trend on Bitcoin is towards the upside, which it definitely is on the 4-hourly time frame, which it definitely is on the daily time frame, which it definitely is on the weekly time frame, if the trend is so strong towards the upside, if we are trading above all important EMAs on the daily as well, above all important EMAs on the 4-hourly as well, is it the best idea to start looking for shorts only because we are near resistance? Obviously it's not. Now on the other hand, to start looking for longs, we also have to realize that we are in a local range over here, right? And that we have this sweep over here, this push up over here that gave us this break of structure over here. We know that yes, this is clean price action, right? Because we have seen this local liquidity sweep. We have seen an impulsive move towards the upside. We are breaking structure over here. We are breaking structure over here. But we have to realize, and this is something that I've been teaching you guys, that this particular move over here, right, which usually would be a nice continuation pattern, has occurred over the weekend. Now I've taught you guys that moves like this, if they occur over the weekend or during bank holidays, we cannot trust these moves and they often tend to get fully reversed. So what does that mean? It means that retail traders, they start longing the price of Bitcoin over here, targeting higher levels, or over here upon the pullback. Where are these people placing their stop loss? Exactly. They're going to place their stop loss either beneath this low over here or beneath this low over here, which means that this move, because it occurred over the weekend, is often a trap. Now that's another reason for me to not start looking for longs on Bitcoin just yet. What I would be doing instead for Bitcoin is simply let the price action on Bitcoin develop, let the range establish. We have this range right now over here already, right? But we can also see that when we look at this range, is that we have a deviation above the range high over here. Now we have an unmitigated liquidity pool beneath a range low over here. So now the plan for Bitcoin in order to start looking for longs would be to get a push beneath a range low, wait for confirmations over here and a reclaim back inside of that range, and then you have yourself a long trigger with your invalidation beneath that low targeting higher levels. But I would at least not be shorting Bitcoin right now because the trend is so strongly towards the upside, and instead I would rather focus on trading altcoins. Ethereum is looking super interesting to me, guys, because for Ethereum, as we have been discussing on my Twitter as well over the weekend, where I posted a massive thread on Twitter about Ethereum and its potential future for the upcoming weeks, is that this PO3 is still in play right over here and that we are still inside of the manipulation area before getting the potential expansion towards the upside. So higher time frame, Ethereum still looks absolutely stunning to me. Now when we start looking at the lower time frame for a potential long execution, what we can see over here on Ethereum is that Ethereum has taken out major buys and liquidity over here. Is that Ethereum is running into this particular supply area right over here. It is resistance until proven otherwise. Okay, also if we extend the supply to the left, we can see that it has been providing massive resistance several times over here for Ethereum as well. Now, what is very interesting to me as well on Ethereum is that if we zoom into the local price section, once again, what can we see? We see that we have this liquidity sweep over here, impulse towards the upside that breaks structure right over here. Usually I would say it's a valid liquidity sweep. Because of this fake break of structure over here, we engineer actual liquidity beneath this low, and it's a valid break of structure over here because we are breaking through a significant high over here. Why is that high significant? Because it brought us to a lower low over here compared to this low that brought us to that high, and therefore it's a significant high to break. But all of this, once again guys, occurred over the weekend. So we cannot trust this impulse, we cannot trust this break of structure over here, and we cannot trust this liquidity sweep over here. So instead, what I actually think is potentially going on Ethereum is that we are engineering liquidity beneath this low. Now, does that mean that I want to short Ethereum over here, targeting the drawn liquidity? No, it doesn't. I'm not looking for shorts on Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any altcoin. I'm just saying that in order for me to be able to look for longs, according to my trading system, we need to take out the low over here, because I always want to enter where other people are getting stopped out. Now, when we look at this low, we can see that this low over here also aligns very clean with that entire previous drop-off over here and the previous bearish fair value gap. So if we are going to take out that low, we are going to tap into a huge liquidity pool, and this could be a potential area to look for a reversal targeting higher levels on Ethereum. So what I'm going to do is, for Ethereum, I'm going to look for longs once we take out this low over here. And I think we are looking at a potential clean invalidation as well beneath a low over here. So that means that if Ethereum is indeed going for the liquidity beneath this low, I think you would want price to settle down a little bit. If it settles, you start engaging with a long position over here up on a sign of strength with your invalidation over here, and then higher time frame wise, like I just explained guys, we are in the middle of a massive PO3. If we are indeed going to reclaim the range low, we can target new yearly highs for Ethereum, and you would be looking at a major swing trade for Ethereum. So I'm going to wait for Ethereum to take out the low that I just marked out, because I think that this move towards the upside potentially can be a trap. Now, I'm not saying that we cannot continue higher from here. We easily can continue higher from here. I'm just saying that in my opinion, according to my strategy, I'm only interested in longs once we take out the low over here. If we take out the low over there, I'm going to start looking for longs over here with my invalidation over here, targeting higher levels over here. This will be my first take profit target, and eventually I will be targeting new yearly highs for Ethereum, because guys, the trend is strongly towards the upside on the 1 hourly, on the 2 hourly time frame as well, on the 4 hourly time frame, and on the daily we are approaching a very significant resistance area soon with the 100 and 200 EMA over here, but also, like I just explained, that range low of the major PO3 aligning right there as well. But first, let's start looking at a potential low time frame execution for Ethereum, targeting that pivotal resistance area, and we'll see from there. If Ethereum is going to continue higher from here, let it go guys. It is not our job as traders to catch every single move out there. It is also not our job to take every single potential trade opportunity out there. It is our job as traders to only look for high probability setups according to our trading system, even if that means that there will be a week without any trade. It's part of our job. Trading should be boring. Trading should be simple. You need to listen to your system, and if your system doesn't provide you with a trigger to start looking for an execution, you patiently wait and sit on your fucking hands. Now let's go over to SUI, because that chart is looking interesting for a potential trading idea. Now let's start off from scratch on SUI, and let's get a top-down analysis all the way towards a trading idea for SUI as well. First off, on a daily, we can see a lovely potential bottoming structure right over here on the chart. What I really like about this chart is if that I zoom into this chart, is that over here, we were putting in a low, right? After putting in this low, we saw a significant bounce towards the upside that gave us a fake break of structure over here. Why is this a fake break of structure? Because the high over here that we break through is not a significant high to break. This high was the high over here that brought us to this low over here. It's not this high that brought us to that low. This was the highest high that we formed after we formed this lower low. So this was a significant high to break. Therefore, this fake break of structure was only meant to induce people into opening up long positions over here on the price of SUI, or to open up pullback long positions over here. Now, where are those people going to place their stop loss? Exactly. They're going to place their stop loss beneath the low right over here, which made this a massive liquidity low. We took out that low, we grabbed the liquidity, we mitigate that liquidity pool, and after mitigating that liquidity pool, we get a push towards the upside. We break structure over here. Now, this was actually a significant high to break. How so? Because the high over here, you should know that by now, brought us to this lower low over here compared to this low that brought us to that high, and therefore it was a significant high to break. So get this reversal pattern into your brains. We sweep the liquidity over here. We get a fake break of structure in. That engineers liquidity over here. We push towards that liquidity pool. We do not get trapped into longs over here. Then we mitigate that liquidity pool, and then we push towards the upside, and then we break structure. Corrective pattern over here. That corrective pattern led towards another impulse towards the upside. Now, this major impulse towards the upside to me is super interesting, because right over here is where we had this major supply area on the daily time frame for SUI. We broke through it and we opened and closed multiple candles above it. Now, this consolidation phase above that supply is very interesting to me. Why? How so? Because of the fact that this consolidation led to a low probability liquidity sweep. How is this a low probability liquidity sweep? Look at the chart and look at this local price action over here, guys. Do we engineer any liquidity beneath this low? No, we don't, for two reasons. First off, look at the time where we were forming this range, on Saturday, right? There is not enough liquidity involved in the markets to really engineer liquidity over here. There's not enough money involved at this moment in time. On the other hand, we get a bit of a bounce, but the significant high to break to engineer liquidity to get a fake break of structure was this high. We didn't take out that high. We didn't sweep it. We didn't close above it. We didn't open and close above it. So there was no fake break of structure to really trap people into breakout longs over here, for example. So this is a low probability liquidity sweep, which makes this a break of structure that we cannot trust, because it occurred over the weekend and because of the fact that we didn't engineer any liquidity, in my opinion, beneath this low. Which means that I think that this move towards the upside might be a potential trap once again on SUI. Which means that there will be liquidity resting over here. Now, this liquidity is resting into that daily breaker on SUI. Now, this is an interesting POI to me to start looking for longs. So that means that if we are going to get a big flush on SUI, and if we are going to indeed take out the low over here, I'll start looking for longs on the price of SUI with my invalidation, if we go to the 15-minute time frame, not beneath the low over here, because this is the most obvious low that many people use, but instead I'll use the low over here, a bit of a wider stop loss, and in a minute I'll explain to you why, because that is based off my take profit target. Here's my invalidation. This will be my first entry. Then your second entry, for example, can be either up on the sweep of this low or up on the sweep of this low for SUI as well. Now, when we look at a higher time frame chart, you guys can understand why we could afford a bit of a wider stop loss, because my take profit target, guys, is all the way at this high over here, the second to highest high. I never use the highest high, I never use the lowest low for my take profit target. I always use the second to highest high or the second to lowest low. Now, the second to highest high is beautifully aligning with that major high time frame resistance area, the major high time frame range high area, and makes up for a major take profit target for the price of SUI. So if we're going to go to the 4-hourly time frame, my plan for SUI is to wait for a sweep of the liquidity low, start building a long position over here into the daily breaker block. Reversal pattern should confirm a push towards the upside, towards brand new all-time highs, and that area is the area where I will take profit on my SUI long position. Now, I'm not going to execute a trade today. I'll let price action develop on Monday on Bitcoin, Ethereum, SUI and any other altcoins before I start engaging with potential long positions tomorrow on Tuesday. Now if you guys want to know when and how I execute my long positions, make sure to join the Discord server. The link to the free server can be found in the description down below. I want to thank you guys for watching and I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video. Ciao, ciao.